Hello everyone. This afternoon I welcome you to our lesson on the volume of a cone. And in this lesson here, I want to show you two things. There are two things that I would like you to understand. Number one, I want you to understand how to calculate the volume of a cone. And then number two, I want you to know how to calculate the slant height of a cone. Now, a cone is a shape that looks like this. So here on the sides here, an example is VB. This side, this length is called the slant height. It's called the slant height, and then the one in the middle here is called the perpendicular height. And the perpendicular height is the one that we use for calculating the volume of a cone. While down here you have a circle, and this circle has a diameter. Now, our formula for the volume of a cone does not have a diameter, and instead it has a radius. So I'll write down the formula here that we are going to use for the first question here. So the question says the perpendicular height of the cone, is 8 centimeters, and the diameter of the base is 10 centimeters. We can see the numbers here. And so use pi is equal to 3.142. Calculate the volume of the cone. That is the first question. So in the first question here, the formula is given by volume. Volume is equal to 1 over 3 pi r squared height. So the pi is what we are given here. The radius is what we are going to find from the diameter. The height is the perpendicular height that we have here. And so the first thing that we do is to calculate the radius. Because we are given the diameter here, the radius is half of the diameter. So we are going to have radius is equal to 10 over 2. So you divide it by 2 because the diameter, the radius is actually half of the diameter. And then you have 5 centimeters. And so we are going to substitute these numbers that we have now in our formula here. And so this is going to be volume is equal to 1 over 3 times pi, which is 3.142 times the radius. The radius is actually 5 squared times the height, which is 5. Okay, and then we can use our calculator now to calculate what we have here. So here, when we simplify, we're going to have 1 over 3 by 3.142 by 5 squared, which is 25 by 8. Okay, and then we can multiply these numbers on top. So 1 times 3.142. So we are going to have 3.142 times 25 times 8, which will give us 628.4 over 3. This 3 that we have in the denominator here. And so when we divide these two numbers here, we divide by 3, we are going to have 209.466. And then now we can round off this number to 209.47 cubic centimeters, which can also be rounded off to 209 cubic centimeters. So you can write any of these numbers depending on the question.
Correct.
Question 2. So in question 2, the question says calculate the slant height of the cone. The slant height is this part here, L. And so what we do is we create a right angle triangle, and the right angle triangle is this one here. From here V up to O, the center there, then to B up to back to V there. And then we are going to have this right angle triangle here. So we have A here, we have B, and we have V there. L there, and this height here is 8 centimeters. And then from A to B, or from O to B, not A, from O to B, we have 5 centimeters. And so with these measurements that we have now, for the sake of those who may not understand where the 5 is coming from, the diameter from here up to there is 10. And so the distance from here, or the length from here, from O up to B is half of 10, which is 5. And this is the 5 here. So we use Pythagoras theorem here to calculate this hypotenuse here, and Pythagoras theorem states that L squared is equal to 8 squared plus 5 squared. So we square these numbers here, we are going to have L squared is equal to 64 plus 25. And so L squared is equal to, then we add these two numbers here, we have 89. And so L is equal to the square root of 89. So to get rid of this square here, we square root on both sides of the equation. So back to our calculator here, the square root of 89, will be 89 is 9.433, which when we round off will just be 9.43 centimeters. So thank you very much. We end here for our lesson.